media is where Rihanna is facing some backlash to a recent tweet of hers. She actually tweeted recently, why isn't the world paying more attention to the farmers' protests that are currently happening and have been going on for some time in India? Well, because of her response and some other celebrities that followed, the government in India put out their own statement saying celebrities should get their facts straight and fully understand the issues before commenting. So the quote unquote celebrity activism, social media activism by a celebrity. Ladies, do you think that this helps the cause, or does this perhaps inadvertently hurt the cause?
Such an interesting question, Mel, because you know what? After Rihanna's tweet, this in fact has become more of an international discussion because, I mean, look at us, we're even discussing it. What a lot of people don't realize, just to help put things in just quick context here, that this actually started to happen in September when the Indian government passed these 3 agricultural laws that would completely change how the farming world works in India. Before, farmers would go to this place called a market, a mandi, where they would be offered different price tag for their crop. And now, and there's always this set price that they just can't get below, which protects them. Now, this new law pretty much takes away all of that, where now large corporations can now go in and buy directly from the farmers, and it leaves them very vulnerable. Like I said, this law was passed in September. The protests started in November, and months have gone by, and now we're finally getting some international news about it. And a lot of people are like, well, why do you care? Why do you care? You're in Canada now. A lot of people don't understand that the South Asian community is actually linked to farming still. We all come from farming backgrounds. My family still has a farm in India that another family member is looking after and growing crops, and that's their livelihood. So it actually directly affects the South Asian community here. And it's why so many people are so concerned and so involved. And the only thing about this, the celebrity aspect of it is, and Lainey, you and I have had this conversation, I worry for the safety of especially of women who are speaking out about this. Since Rihanna has spoken about this, and Greta Thunberg, they've been walking around in India burning posters of them. And these are women who don't even live in the country. So part of me worries on social media and for the women who actually live in India on whether how much they speak out on this, on their safety. Because every time I post about it, yes, they feel encouraged, but I can tell you, I get some very, very disturbing messages.
Oh, it's really scary. I think that for me, watching all of this, it is the globalization of our food. It is talking, this is where I think if you are someone who takes interest in your food or world issues or world politics, my hope is that we do at the very minimum understand that we live in a global marketplace, and what happens in one side of the world, wherever you stand on the issue, it will impact you in some way, shape, or form at home. We've seen this from so many issues around the world. We no longer can sort of sit in our own little bubble on one side of the world and be like, oh, that's their issue. One way or another, it is going to impact you. And so when it comes to celebrities, we assume, or maybe the Indian government assumes, that Rihanna hasn't read up on the issues or she doesn't know what she's talking about. But what if she has? What if she's read up and been in contact with people and really educated herself and then put out that tweet? I think we wrongly assume, as athletes and celebrities over time have told you, whether you're LeBron James or Colin Kaepernick or Jane Fonda being told, stay in your lane. What's that term? Shut up and dribble, or shut up and throw, or just stick to acting. We assume wrongly that these are not people who have educated themselves. So I think that that's the assumption we have to question.
I totally agree, Mel. I feel like when it comes to celebrity activism, I default to cynical. And I have this image of my head, like going back to 2014 when there were celebrities on the Cannes Film Festival red carpet, and they were sort of given signs to hold, like bring back our girls, when 276 girls were kidnapped by Boko Haram. And so I just feel so cynical about it. It's like when this stuff happens on the internet, it gives us this false sense of security that we've done something. It sort of lets us off the hook. But I think young people don't have that baked in cynicism that I have. Look at the Greta Thunberg effect. There's actually research that shows that her activism and efforts have convinced others to take action on the climate crisis. And they're engaging in collective action. Yeah, it's amazing. So I got to lose that chip on my shoulder.
Yeah, and I think that to that point, Rihanna, Mel, you talked about how she, it's bad to assume that she wasn't educating herself. But the thing is, she wasn't actually taking a stand either way on farmers.
Maybe
or
that was
government.
very calculated.
The tweet was, why aren't we talking about this? So she was actually saying to her followers, hey, are you reading up on this? And last week, she actually tweeted 3 things that were like for information. She tweeted about Myanmar, and she also tweeted about Breonna Taylor. She kind of dragged Daniel Cameron, who is the district attorney in Louisiana, who really hasn't come through for justice for Breonna Taylor. So she herself in real time is showing people, I'm reading up on this. I'm trying to educate myself. So are you? Which is exactly the point. It's not what's interesting is the Indian government's reaction to her. Like, hey, you don't know anything about this. When she was asking, when she was asking people, do you know about this? You should. And she was directly addressing Western myopia. And I also found it interesting, Sonia, you and I talked about this too, where the Indian government was like, hey, celebrities, like, stay out of it. But Bollywood celebrities were tweeting back at Rihanna, pushing her down and criticizing her. So they seem to be selective about which celebrities were commenting, and the celebrities who were from Bollywood, who were pro-government, were allowed to. And I thought that was like an interesting, difference between celebrity reaction and what's allowed and what's not.
Double standards. Right?
Yeah,
exactly.